Minerva by E.S. Wynn. Chapter 1. I wonder if anyone back on Earth will ever receive this message. Where should I start? I have to say something about Captain Cindy Hawk. I didn't know her all that well. We all looked up to her because of her service record, being a war hero and all. But after she airlocked herself, I guess there really isn't much to say. Van Gelder made a log of everything that happened, the extent of the damage she did. I've got it around here somewhere. I'm having trouble getting my bearings. Sometimes I think it's the filaments. I swear I can feel them in my skin, needling their way into my muscles, my bones, my brain. In all likelihood, it's just my own fatigue catching up with me. That happens when you don't sleep for days on end. That happens when you're locked in a closet-sized storage area 112 light-years from home. Home. God, that seems like so very long ago. You probably remember the hype we got. The pre-launch news reports, the media extravaganza that began before we had even left the International Space Station. It was ridiculous. It broke records on its own, surpassed every film in the theaters at that point in time, and even that was just the tip of the coverage iceberg. I can still remember how insane the sheer number of news reports that flooded nearly every radio and television channel for more than a month before our maiden voyage seemed at the time. So what if we were breaking almost every law of physics with the experimental drive? It didn't seem that important to me at the time. But to the people of Earth, it was proof that science was still alive, that interest in space travel hadn't waned to nothing after all. It was an affirmation for an entire society, for an entire species, the kind of thing that only comes along once in a lifetime and leaves its mark on the memories of a generation for decades to come. I can only imagine what the major news networks will do when we don't come back on schedule. "Minerva lost," they'll say, or worse. Then again, who knows? Maybe they'll just sweep the whole thing under the carpet, pretend it didn't happen, and try again. Maybe they'll build another ship, another prototype to come and find out what happened. Yeah, right. Even if they did, even if Duke and Minerva Eclipse wanted to try again, even if they could find the investors, it would be years. I won't last years. I doubt I'll last more than a few hours. Got to get this out now. Okay. My name is Kimberly Wraith Ferox. Kim to those who know me. My record is on file with the Black Navy. If there even is still such an organization when you find me. If you find me. If anyone finds this, receives this, I'm recording a backup copy just in case. People say it takes hundreds of years for a signal like this to reach Earth, and that even then... But then... That's why I'm making the copy. I'm rambling again. Gotta focus. Gotta get back on track. I'm 22. A lieutenant. The youngest member of the TEV Minerva's crew. Officially serving acting captain as of... It doesn't matter. It's all in my file. Acting captain. Never really got used to that. Sure, back at training I used to get the Admiral Ferox treatment from General Oborn, but I always took it as a joke. You don't expect these things. I don't expect these things. My mother supported my every career move. Probably used her own service record to influence my climb through the ranks, but my father was the warrior. He sent me more communications during my 4 years in the Black Navy. I can still clearly remember the day that I got the communication offering me a position aboard the Minerva. The day that it all began. The ship would be launching in 6 months, probably within a few weeks of when I was to be moved from babysitting duty at the Duke Orbital Fleet Yards for some planet-side duty. Accepting it would mean I'd be shipped from one spaceborne hunk of steel to another, but it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You don't pass up something like that. And I had a great respect for Cindy Hawk. She's got that kind of character in the photos and interviews that just commands respect. The idea of serving under her as her immediate subordinate was like being asked to serve under someone as mythic as, I don't know, Patton, Churchill, Schwarzkopf. She was that kind of person. She was only about 10 years older than me. Still young, but strong, experienced. Jesus, I'm rambling again. The first day of the mission was festive. About like you'd expect. The press couldn't seem to get enough pictures of Captain Hawk or the rest of the senior staff. The whole day was people saying things like, "Over here, Miss Ferox," and "Turn this way, please, Miss Ferox." They had pictures of me with different members of the senior staff, pictures of me talking to Captain Hawk, pictures of me walking or just looking at something, and, worst of all, pictures of me eating. Who takes pictures of people eating? The press. That's who. The only real break any of us got that day was the dedication and christening, which didn't last nearly long enough. I'm just glad I wasn't asked to make a speech. The food was good, though. No, it was excellent. Duke and Minerva Eclipse threw a party that must have cost a fortune to import to the fleet yards. I remember sushi, fresh, and lots of it. Lobster comes to mind as well. Other seafoods, things I couldn't identify. Lots of frilly things and little umbrellas. The whole thing was ridiculous, but I enjoyed it. I had to smile almost constantly, which was fun, and I'm being sarcastic here, because the paparazzi kept popping into view and snapping pictures of me without warning. Candid shots. Yeah, I should have slept in that day. And the day of the launch. This selection is from E.S. Wynn's book, Minerva. You can find out more about Minerva and other Thunderoon publications at Thunderoon Publishing's main site, www.thunderoon.com.